All right, let's talk about one of the all-time classics of spiritual seeking, Hermann Hesse's Siddhartha. We're going to trace the incredible journey of its hero, a guy who's on a quest to find the one thing that truly matters, the self.
So, this is where it all begins. We meet this young man, Siddhartha, who, well, he has it all. But inside, there's this deep, gnawing emptiness. You know that feeling, right? It's like something's missing. And honestly, this one line right here, it's the spark that ignites his entire lifelong quest.
Okay, so our first stop, the Brahmins' unrest. We're starting in Siddhartha's first world, the world of the Brahmins. Think of it as a place of sacred rituals, immense respect, and serious intellectual study. On the outside, everything looks perfect, but underneath it all, there's a serious internal crisis just bubbling away.
I mean, look at this. On the surface, Siddhartha's life is literally perfect. He's the admired son of a respected Brahmin. He's super smart, just soaks up knowledge. His parents, his friends, everyone loves him. He's a pro at meditation and all the sacred rituals. He knows the holy texts inside and out. He's basically the golden boy, destined for greatness.
But here's the thing. For Siddhartha, all of this felt kind of hollow. The rituals, the texts, they were good, sure. But it was like trying to put out a massive fire with a tiny cup of water. It just wasn't enough, because none of it could help him find and truly feel the one thing he was looking for, the Atman. Now, the Atman, you can think of it as that deep spiritual core inside you, that indestructible self that's connected to the entire universe. He knew it existed, but he just couldn't get a hold of it. And this is his first huge breakthrough. He has this massive realization. You can't just get true knowledge from teachers, no matter how smart or wise they are. It's not something they can just pour into your head. It has to be experienced. You have to live it. And that single thought, it changes everything. It sets him on a completely radical new path, away from his home, his family, everything he's ever known. So the next phase, life as an ascetic. And where does this radical new path take him? Well, he completely rejects his comfortable life, his guaranteed future, and he joins up with the samanas. These are wandering ascetics, and their whole philosophy is that to find the self, you first have to completely destroy it through some pretty extreme self-denial. And let me tell you, this new life is just brutal. We're talking about fasting for weeks on end, forcing himself to overcome pain and thirst, just standing out in the burning sun, the freezing rain, exposing his body to the elements. The whole point is to empty the mind, kill the senses, kill the memory, to basically annihilate the self through sheer pain, hunger, and deprivation. But then, after 3 long, grueling years of this, Siddhartha has another one of his famous breakthroughs. He realizes this whole thing, this path of self-denial, it isn't enlightenment. It's just another way to escape. It's just a temporary fix to numb the self, no different, he says, than a guy at the end drinking rice wine to forget his problems. Ouch. Okay, moving on to the enlightened one's path. So at this point, Siddhartha has rejected the comfort of his home and the extreme pain of asceticism. He's kind of in limbo. And that's when he and his friend Govinda start hearing these rumors about a truly special figure, Gautama, the Buddha, a man who they say has actually done it. He's achieved true enlightenment.
And when Siddhartha finally sees the Buddha, he just knows. There's no big display, no flashy miracles. It's all in his presence, this perfect, unshakable calm and peace. The way he walks, the way he looks at the world, it's clear this is a man who isn't searching for anything anymore. And Siddhartha realizes, this is what I've been looking for.
So here's the twist. Siddhartha listens to the Buddha's teachings and he sees they are perfect. But then he does something pretty shocking. While his friend Govinda decides to stay and become a follower, Siddhartha chooses to walk away. And it's not because he disrespects the Buddha, not at all. He totally believes the Buddha is enlightened. But he comes to this absolutely crucial conclusion. You can't get to salvation through teachings. The actual experience, you can't put it into words. It's something you have to find for yourself. Next up, awakening to the self. So now, think about it. For the very first time in his entire life, Siddhartha is completely, totally alone. No family, no teachers, no samanas, not even the Buddha to follow. And right there, in that profound solitude, something inside him just shifts. He has a true awakening. He asks himself this simple but totally revolutionary question. What if the meaning of everything isn't behind things, but in them? See, his whole life, he'd been taught to see the physical world as an illusion, a distraction. He was always trying to look past it. But now he wonders, wait a minute, what if the world itself is the whole point? And this chart really nails his big shift in thinking. On the one hand, you have his old way. The world is just a deceptive veil, something to get past. The self is something you have to overcome, to destroy. And wisdom? That comes from teachers. But now, his new realization is that the world is beautiful and real. The self isn't something to destroy, it's something to know. And wisdom? Well, wisdom has to come from himself, from his own experience.
All right, Section 5, Lessons in a Worldly Life. So filled with this powerful new purpose, what does he do? He walks straight into the city and decides he's going to embrace the very life he used to look down on. He's going to learn from the so-called childlike people and dive right into their worldly passions.
And his new teachers? Well, they couldn't be more different from the holy men of his past. First, there's Kamala, a famous and incredibly wise courtesan who's going to teach him the art of love. Then there's Kamaswami, a rich merchant who will teach him all about business and trade. He is literally diving headfirst into the world of the senses. And you know what? He's amazing at it. For years, he lives as a rich, successful man. He masters the games of lust and wealth. But there's a problem. The whole time, he feels detached, like he's just an actor playing a part in his own life. And the real cost is that quiet inner voice, the one that guided him for so long, is getting harder and harder to hear.
He calls it the slow poison of samsara, the cycle of worldly life. What started as a feeling of superiority just becomes a deep tiredness. He starts to take on the fears and anxieties of the people around him. His playful passion for the game of business decays into just plain old greed. And eventually, that inner voice he was trying to find, it falls completely silent.
So here he is again. Siddhartha finds himself at another dead end, totally disgusted with the person he's become. He tried the path of the spirit, and that led to a dead end. He tried the path of the flesh, and that led to despair. It leaves us with this huge question. When the life you choose becomes its own kind of prison, what do you do next? What is the next step on the path?